Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for joining me for this video. I'm going to be doing a paper 2 series. I'm not doing it from a specific past paper. They're just paper 2 quality questions. So please stay tuned. I think some of these questions are from 2019, but yeah, please stay tuned for the rest of the video. So the first question comes to us, says that make x the subject of the formula. So basically you're asked to solve for x here. So when solving for x, you carry all the opposite operation all the operation of its opposite that you're basically seeing. So we need to get this 3p from the right hand side over on the left hand side. It's a positive 3p, so do the opposite of that, which is subtraction. Then we get rid of this 5 in the denominator, and here is basically dividing, so we need to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. So let's go. So I'm going to rewrite the equation. So y is equal to x over 5 plus 3p. So we're going to subtract 3p from both sides because it's a positive 3p there. So this cancels. So on this side, we are left with the x over 5. We're going to write it back. And on this side, we have y minus 3p. Okay? So that's equal to x over 5. So from this line, now we need to find the value of x. Here it's been divided by 5. So we do the opposite operation, which is multiplying. So we multiply by 5 on this side, and we multiply by 5 on this side. All right. So for the answer, we're going to have 5 times the difference of y minus 3p. And on this side, this 5 cancels this 5. So that's equal to x. So you can leave the x on the right hand side, or you can rewrite it by saying x is equal to 5 times y minus 3p. If you wanted to, you could expand the bracket, but it's just fine as it is as the answer right here. I hope this one was clear for you. If not, leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to respond to you. The next question says, solve the following equation by factorization. So by factorization, they're asking you to solve it using the AC method. So if the AC method cannot be used, you have to go ahead and take out the common factor between all of them and factorize throughout continuously. So right here, we have 2x squared minus 9x is equal to 0. Here we see we have a quadratic because the highest power of x is 2, which means squared. All right. So here we see we cannot use the AC method because c is equal to 0. So we have to go ahead and take out whatever is common between 2x squared and negative 9x. So here, x is common. So you're going to go ahead and factor out the x. All right. So after you factor out the x, now you're going to simplify by dividing the x, which is the factor, into each of these terms. So what I mean when I say that, it's going to be 2x squared divided by x and negative 9x divided by x. All right. So you know x squared basically means x times x. So if you cancel one from the denominator and one from the numerator, in the numerator you're left with 2x. So in bracket or parentheses you'll have 2x, and on this side x cancels here and x cancels here, so you're left with negative 9. All right, and that's equal to 0. So we're not finished. We just finished the factorization part, but it says you need to solve for x. So to find x, you basically do the product property rule that says a times b is equal to 0. Therefore, a equal 0 and b is equal to 0. So from that, we're going to equate these two to 0. So x is equal to 0 and 2x minus 9 is also equal to 0. From here, we solve. So it's a negative 9, so we plus 9 to both sides. All right, so that cancels. So 2x, you bring it down, is equal to 9. Here, we need to find the value of x. So it's multiplying by 2. So we divide by 2 on both sides to carry out the opposite operation, hence balancing the equation. So x is equal to 9 over 2. So we have two values of x. X is equal to 0 and x is equal to 9 over 2. And that's how you solve an equation that looks like this one. And I hope it's clear so far. So let's continue. This one says John bought a car for $65,000. If the value of the car depreciates by 8% each year, how much will the car be worth at the end of 2 years? So the most important thing here is to know what is the value of the car, and what rate it depreciates by, and how often. Each year means per year, or every other year goes 8%. All right. So from that, we can do this two ways. We can either use the depreciation formula to do it, or we can do it year by year. So I'm going to show you how to do it both ways. So the first way I'm going to show you is with the formula. So if you're a formula kind of person, you should know this formula. So A is equal to P times 1 plus rate over 100 to the N. And you know P here represents the cost of the car. All right, cost of car. R here represents the rate. N represents the number of years. And A represents the value of the car after that year. So value of car. I'm going to say new value of car. Okay, so we know all of these. So the cost of the car was $65,000. So $65,000 is equal times 1 plus the rate, and that's R. So rate is 8%. So it's 8 over 100, because you know rate is given as a percentage. So 8 over 100, and how many years? So that's going to be 2. All right, so the cost of the car after 2 years, using your calculator, going to be a paper 2 paper. So if you don't want, you could say 65,000 times 0.92 to the second power is equal to $55,016. So if you wanted, you could put this part here in your calculator, since it's a paper 2, to get your final answer.